So guys, 2001 Audi A8 got towed in. They said it just died driving down the road, like it ran out of fuel and it won't start. I tried cranking it yesterday for a while. I tried to get it to start in propane. It tried to start, but I couldn't get it to run. So I have my truck hooked up charging it. Should be pretty charged by now. Yeah, we're at 19 amps with the car on. Hooking the scan tool up, see if we can get some codes. I don't know if the fuel pump's turning on because I can't really hear it out here. Let's see, 2001 A8. Pretty sure it was L. It's AUX engine. Let's see. I guess we'll just do an engine management. It takes forever to scan this whole car. I don't think we're going to have any codes. Oh, yeah, we would have these. Too lean, I think, is probably normal. I mean, not normal, new. He had the catalyst and the secondary air before. Let's see. See, it'll start, run for a couple seconds, rough, and shut off. Sometimes you can get it to run for like 30 seconds. So I think we're going to be chasing a fuel issue. We have a lean on both banks. Oh, did I lose communication because I was cranking? Freeze frame's not supported. Of course it isn't. Okay, so I guess what we'll do is I'll pop this cover off back here. It's real easy to get to. And we'll make sure we have power and ground at the pump. So I'm going to quick unscrew that and we'll hook the scope up. So guys, I went in and did the sequential activator test, and you can hear the pump running. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I can definitely hear it running. So we know it doesn't sound like it's a power or a ground issue at the pump. And I thought about checking pressure back here, but I remember I tried to do that before back here and it's kind of a pain. So I guess we'll just come up here, we'll pull the cover off over here, and we'll hook up. Oh, look at that. And oh, there's no screws in there, but pull off one of the fuel lines. Down here, there's the two metal fuel lines. I don't know if you guys can see them, so we'll have to pull these covers off and we'll hook up our pressure gauge and check. So guys, I decided to mix it up a little bit. So the yellow trace is going to the power feed, which is the power feed for all this, the cam sensor, a bunch of other stuff. Green trace, this is ignition coil 1 control. And I believe this is on injector 1 control circuit. So I got my scope set up. Let's change the time base. We'll go to 1 second. And we'll see if we see anything. Okay, so it looks like our injector fired. And looks like our ignition coil fired. Let's save this. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna get my extension lead or my USB cable, and I'm gonna bring it inside the car so you guys can see this. Okay guys, so I'm inside. I saved it, but we're gonna adjust some of this. So we want this on a 50-volt scale. Well, this should be on like a 20 or so. Now let's crank it. We'll put this. Now you guys should be able to see it better. So we'll change the view here, make it easier. There we go. So we got our injector firing, got our ignition coil getting turned on. So to me, this is a fuel issue. So I'm going to get my fuel pressure gauge out and we'll check it, see what's going on. So guys, I teed my pressure gauge into the fuel line. Hopefully this is the feed. I think this is the feed. Yeah, actually this has to be the feed. So we're teed in, got it all set up, and turn the key on. See if we can build some pressure. There's a lot of air in there. There wasn't much fuel that came out. What? I wonder if we can do like the activation test again. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't start spraying fuel out somewhere. So not going to let me do it. Said I had to start the engine. See if it'll let me do it now. Should I turn the key off? I'll wait a couple seconds. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if somebody can crank the car for me while I check this, but we're still at 0. So that is not good. So guys, I figured I'd cheat. Hook my power probe up. Yellow is going to power. Green's going to ground. Got it going right to the battery. See right here. green's power, brown's ground. So when you come up here to the front, we got what, 11 psi? Not 11, it's like 12 psi. Yeah, that's not enough to run a car. So, oops. So I noticed that the noise had sounded weird when I first connected it. I didn't get it on the video, but it sounded like aeration. So I think maybe I'll get some fuel, put it in there, see if that fixes it. If not, I wonder if we can like shut this off and create more pressure. Nope. But yeah, let's see if our pressure drops. Our pressure's holding. So that kind of rules out an issue with like a regulator. I don't know how this car is set up. I'd have to look it up. But that rolls out like a check valve or regulator where it bleeds down. So I'm just wondering if this car is just like out of fuel. So guys, I'm back with the Audi. I just went and got 5 gallons of gas. Can't wait till I get my fuel cell hooked up, so I don't have to do this. Just pull over, add some gas, try it out. What? I got 5 gallons here. Good thing that's lunchtime and I had to go anyway. So I'm going to pour this in and then see if our fuel pressure changes. So guys, I got about half the container in. Not sure if you guys can see it or not. There you go, you can see how low it is. It's right at the S. So I'm going to stop here. Try to get this out. See what our fuel pressure is at. Apparently I had to set all my stuff up here so nobody would run it over. But we are at still like what, 12 or 13. So I'm going to turn the pump on. Turn the pump on real quick. Huh, must be getting ground upstairs. So, turn this on. Let's see if our pressure changed up here. Oh, look at our pressure. It's going way up. Oh man, look at that, we're up to 50 psi. Let's fold this intake over. See if we can get this thing to start up. Okay, I'm gonna take all this stuff, at least that stuff. We'll turn our pump back off. Just make sure nothing's gonna catch and make a mess. I think we should be good here to at least try starting it. Oh man, look at that. Thing was out of gas. So, I'm gonna let it run here for a little bit. I guess I'll put the rest of this gas in for him, since I already got it. That does not sound good. Oh, you know what? Yeah, look how high our pressures are. I bet you this is a restriction. We'll shut this off. I bet you my gauge is a restriction. So I'll bleed this down and then I'll hook it back up like it was, and then we'll let it run. Oh, and I'm gonna add the rest of the gas in there too. So guys, I got the intake all back on, got it all tight. I put the gas in there. Let's see what our gas gauge is at. Let's see if it's actually working. So there's 5 gallons we added. Huh. Now it's showing just above quarter, so I wonder if the float died. I don't know what it exactly was before, but 5 gallons I would have thought would have brought it up a lot higher. Look at our gas gauge moving. The gas gauge is swinging, so I think this might have a bad gas gauge. Let's see if our pump's making any noise back here. Oh, no, it has a nice hum. Not loud like it was. I'm gonna let it sit here and run for a little bit, and then I'll probably take it for a test drive. I'm gonna let it sit here and run for like a half an hour or so because I don't want it to let me sit. If there's an issue with the pump, I'll fill in the basket. And I'm gonna clean everything up. Well, tip guys, if you pierce the wires, put a little electrical tape on it. I mean, not little liquid electrical tape. Right up in there. And then I did the same thing on the fuel pump before I covered it up. That way the wires don't corrode, because I see a lot of wires come in the shop that are pierced and then they start corroding. Just a little tip. So far the car's been running for about 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna eat lunch and then take it for a test drive. It's still running.